king, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, firing me. Yeah, you're firing me, firing me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can think, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can I get you out of my hand?
Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday to you, and welcome to another edition of Point of View. I am Bobby Munson, and joined by my side, it's Mark Robson. Mark talks WWE, Mark talks football, Mark talks gaming. Mark does a lot of talking. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, normally it's a lot of bullshit, but today we're gonna have a lot of fun here today. I'm going to pre-warn people here today. If you see me looking a lot over into this direction, it's because currently it's the Formula One, and if things are going to go right, Lewis Hamilton, if he's done this pit stop right, could win the Grand Prix, and I will be celebrating live on here. So we're going to find out what happens. But no, really excited. We've had a very busy night. Trust me, if you haven't seen it, just watch the shenanigans that happened on the post show, because a lot happened on that show. My internet decided to die.
Twice.
Sammy's fucked me off. And Auntie Collins decided to really rile me up about wine. And so make sure you go and watch that and go and check that out. But yes, it was a fun night, very tired, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about with the football.
Yes, we sure do. Yeah, no, and last night was a hell of a lot of fun. So thank you both to Kimmy and Auntie Collins, not only for bringing their expertise to the table, but also putting up with the two of us after we had a very celebratory Saturday of sorts, of epic proportions, really, because I know, like, not only did I get to go and watch the movie Maxine this weekend, which I was looking forward to watching, the Ty West horror trilogy. So I got to see that on top of watching the England game. And I'm thinking, okay, could England wrap this up early and everything? And we're going to talk more in depth about it, but we went all sorts of crazy over there. Then I was kind of somewhat lurking, paying attention to what was going on in the Netherlands-Turkey game to know who we'd be up against in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Money in the Bank on top of it. Like, man, this weekend has been something else. And while Money in the Bank was not bad. It was decent enough. It wasn't amazing, but it was still fun.
It was
and the post show was fun. That was the best part about it. I had a blast last night.
I still think of like Money in the Bank was a filler. It was that filler, that final spotlight before SummerSlam. Yes, if you did see, I did celebrate. Lewis Hamilton has just got into the lead, so I do apologize. But yes, I'm also going to keep it. But yeah, no. Do you know what I said to you before we went live yesterday? Because we had the England rugby in the morning, which we lost by a point against New Zealand, and then we went into the England game where that was stressful enough. Then watched the Netherlands game, which was just crazy. We'll get into that in a minute. We'll talk about that. And then we went into Money in the Bank, and then we had the post show. And I'll tell you this: I did not get to sleep until around about 5:15 in the morning. I've had about 6 hours sleep and ready to go. And if Lewis Hamilton wins, I am going to lose my shit again. So Yes,
not,
it's been a lot of fun.
not gonna lie to you, 6 hours sleep is about what I average on most days anyway. Kind of thing.
To be
So
fair, I had to sleep in a different room because my daughter had a sleepover with my wife last night. If I watch wrestling, they go in and I'll go in my daughter's room. And I was just sat there going, this is no word of a lie. All right, I sat there and I went, why does she put ice in her wine? Right? I'm not even joking. I was there for about 20 minutes working out. And then I was just like, yeah, but she also likes Sammy's. It was literally just my brain was just on overload of random shit last night. Like, oh god.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't hear that very often. I mean, again, that's you think of wine as room temperature, but I guess ice cubes in wine. It's an Auntie Collins thing. Trust your auntie. Trust your auntie there, Mark. Trust your auntie.
Yeah, and she also likes Sami Zayn, so that's another cross in the box. I do like Sami Zayn. It's just pissing me off his title run. That's it. All right, that's not happening.
It's fair. It's fair, but it's so much more entertaining to just carry it on in the fashion that we have been. So, but
yeah, it really is. And also, I only got kicked off twice yesterday.
Only twice, yes, only twice. And
normally, that's a record minimum of me of when I've annoyed someone. If Ed was there, there'd been a lot more.
Oh no, that was Ed that kicked you.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was you. Oh, bastard.
No, I didn't even touch the buttons on that one. That was Ed backstage that booted you twice from the show.
I'm going to have a word with him later. I'm gonna have a word with him later. Little bastard.
Good old Ed. Good old Ed.
Jesus Christ. Right.
Oh, he likes that.
Where are we?
We are talking about the Euros. Of course, we just had the quarterfinal matches played over the last couple of days, Friday and Saturday. So before we start getting into obviously what our Saturday was like, let's talk about Friday. A couple of very interesting tournament matches there. We had Spain versus Germany, where Spain ended up with a 2-1 victory over the Germans, one of the heavy favorites to win this entire thing. And that was even on a red card situation, a red card for the Spaniards, and they still managed to edge out a 2-1 victory over Germany to reach the semifinals. Your thoughts on the Spain team? Did you think they would get this far in the tournament?
Yes. I think, like, after watching the Georgia game, the one before, where they went 1-0 down and then just threw them off the park in the knockout rounds, in the round of 16, and then went through. This for me was the game, and I think I said this before last week. I said that the game between Germany and Spain will be the one that decides who will be in the final. And I think that proved it. I think the Germans were unlucky at one point with a penalty shout, but also I get the call why it wasn't a penalty, because his hand was slightly by his side, but it wasn't in an unnatural position. It was still in an emotion of him defending, but then his ball got blasted into his arm, Cucurella, which then wasn't given by VAR and by the on-field referee. But then again, it took Spain 120 minutes after taking off their star wingers, the strikers, and then trying to do something with the final minutes. It come in the 118th minute, in extra time for the goal to happen, and it was an un-Spanish goal. It was a cross for a header. When, if you've looked at the Spanish teams before, it was all tiki-taka, close football, close-knit, passing around football. So for me, it's good to see Spain doing it, and I think Spain are going to be the favourites now to win this tournament.
Very fair assessment. Yeah, and again, this is like, it was not, how do I put this in a word? It was kind of weird. It was the portion of the tournament where you think people would have really gone for it, and it became very defensively heavy, and forcing those extra minutes in penalty shootouts. 2 penalty shootouts in the quarterfinals this time
2
around.
out of 4, yeah.
So let's talk about the first of those, because we're going to save the other one as the last one we talk about in the quarterfinals. Portugal and France in a very epic 0-0 draw right through stoppage time forced a penalty shootout. Who could win it? Again, these were two juggernauts of the tournament right here. Many people tipping Portugal to be one of the ones that could go straight to the final. Yeah, including yourself. Yes, in our original video. You can go back and check that out. Portugal were a heavy favorite. No longer. France ends up beating them 5-3 on penalties on this very night. Very, very interesting to see France going through this deep into the tournament. Not that they're not good. It's just with that expectation of Portugal. But yeah, they edged them out quite well on the penalty shootout and now will be taking on Spain in the semifinals. Your thoughts on this one?
I think if you look at the round before, you look at the Portugal game before with the whole Ronaldo thing, where he missed a penalty, cried, went to a penalty shootout, took it, scored, and then they won. And then you go through to France, who have not been convincing whatsoever. In the game before, I think they scored it by an own goal against the Belgians, and then went to play against Portugal and 0-0. There's something off with the French team. There's something off with, and I also think that this was Ronaldo's last tournament and probably Ronaldo's last international game, I would presume now. But I'm interested to see what Ronaldo does when he retires and who steps up, because that Portugal team, could they have done better without Ronaldo? No. But Ronaldo also had one of the most amount of shots in the tournament without scoring a goal. And he didn't score a single goal. And if you look at the media narrative, it's why is Ronaldo this and this and this? But then if you look at the Copa America, I know I'm changing tournament, but Messi still hasn't scored for Argentina in the Copa America. And it's one of those where you could see what the journalists' agenda is at this point from it. But if we're going to go to it was boring as hell. Portugal, France, very cagey from the French. Very strange that Mbappe got subbed going into extra time. I would expect if you're captain, you don't do that. I know that if Harry Kane, he had to come off because of injury when it comes to the penalties.
Dude,
but then at the same time,
stand by the end of that match.
Exactly. Gareth Southgate had to try and help him fall down at one point. Something about the French that's just off. The manager coming out criticising the fans, saying if you don't like us, don't watch us.
That's just bullshit. You don't do that.
No. And it's one of those things where the English, we criticise all the time, no matter if we're winning.
We win, we criticize, we lose, we criticize.
But Gareth Southgate's never come out as. I think this is at the end of this tournament. I think we're going to see a shift in loads of different managers because a lot of teams are not performing. But France, it's just they're getting there. They're getting through it. But I don't think they'll have enough for Spain at all. I think Spain might have a bit too much for them, and I see a Spain in the final of the Euros.
Okay. Well, seeing as we're talking about that match going forward, then France versus Spain, let's do the predictions right now. France and Spain, what do you got for the goals? Who's going? Obviously, I know who you're picking for going through, but what do you go for the score?
It all depends on Mbappe, right? Are we going to get the Mbappe that we've had all tournament, or are we going to have the World Cup Mbappe? That's the one that we need to know. If we're going to get World Cup Mbappe, then my mind will change and say France are going to the final. Where if we don't, then Spain will. I'm going to go... this is so difficult to predict as well. It's so hard. I'm going to go 2-1 Spain. 2-1 Spain.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's extra time. Also, penalties could be. I'm digging myself in a hole here where I can't make a decision. 2-1 Spain in extra time.
Okay. I was going to go 2-0 Spain regulation time. I think that France is very shooken right now. And again, like you said, unless you start getting World Cup Mbappe, and without the rest of the team functioning to be able to give him what he needs to become that, I don't know that the confidence is there at the moment. And I think that Spain's going to end up rocking them and that we're going to see Spain in the final. And I'm going to say 2-0 in regulation.
I think you're right, but then you got to think about Spain have conceded against Georgia, Germany. The only game they haven't conceded, if I'm right, you can double check this if you can. The only game they haven't conceded in was the first game of the tournament, where they beat Croatia 3-0. I think they've conceded in every game since then, or they might not have. I'm not sure, but I feel like that they have. I should really check before but it is one of those where I just feel like Spain's defense is not there at all. For me, it's a bit of a.
No, let's have a look here. So we had 2-1 in Germany. We had 4-1 Georgia. They beat Albania 1-0. They beat Italy 1-0. Croatia 3-0.
Oh, so they kept clean sheets in every game in the group stage, and ever since the knockout, they've conceded.
Yeah,
that's a bit worrying, isn't it? Is it me?
Bit.
Was that a little bit worrying?
Yeah, especially when you, again, like you mentioned, going up against a guy like Mbappe. If he shows up, and you could be looking at a different situation. And BDJ's up in the house saying goals. BDJ, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we're both on the same page that Spain's likely going through to the final. So sorry, France, unless you start showing up here in this tournament, which you haven't done so far, your time is up in the semifinals. And
I think the French. I'm going to keep going back to the French are on the same type of thing as the English, where they're not performing, but they're doing it. Maybe it's just another chance where they'll do the same thing, where they won't perform, but they might. Who knows? Who knows? It gets to a point now where I'm struggling to predict these matches because I don't know where this is going to go. But it's interesting to see who turns up at the right time.
Yeah, and that's always the struggle too, because they.
Hold on. Wine ladies here.
Auntie Collins, good morning. I have no idea about football, but want to say good morning. Good morning to you as well, too. Remember, 2 ice cubes in that red wine, as that kept Mark up for hours after
it literally did
last night.
It really did. It really did, and I don't know why. But no, I just want to say it was lovely to meet you and Kimmy last night. But yeah, it was really nice to meet you. Apart from the wine and your Sami Zayn loving. Apart from that, it was nice.
Awesome. Yeah, it is going to be very, very interesting to see how this unfolds and everything like that. And again, if Mbappe does show up, it will be a different story altogether. And it was awesome. We had a blast. I can't wait to pull the short clips from last night's stream. It was pretty wild.
Oh, there was so many.
There was some very LOL moments throughout the entire evening.
Jesus Christ. And I knew I was overly tired at one point where I just was random as anything, and I was like, oh, no.
Oh, see, that's the thing. It's such a perfect blend with what goes on Thursday nights with Honor Ramble. It is so very random and fun, and just you never know what you're gonna get. So tune in to Honor Ramble Thursday nights.
Absolutely.
But yes, let's talk about the other half of the quarterfinals here, and about who we're going to be seeing in the semifinals. Of course, we're going to save the one that we want to celebrate the most for last year. But starting with the game that took place in the afternoon, it was the Netherlands versus Turkey. Again, we see a red card in a quarterfinal matchup. So 2 quarterfinal red cards being dished out. Turkey ends up losing this matchup, only 2-1 against the Netherlands. Very tight game again, just like every quarterfinal match was. It was a very, very tight situation between the two squads.
Oh, yeah. Danny Carvajal got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then the Turkey player, man, who got sent off was a player that wasn't even on the pitch. Yeah. He was on the substitutes, but he's like, all right. I completely forgot about Carvajal. That was a bit mental.
Well, not only that, no. Turkey lost because of an own goal. They knocked themselves out of the tournament, essentially.
Yeah, but it's one of those where it was dubious to be an own goal. It was going on target and winning.
I know.
It was but what I will say is I'm still not convinced on Netherlands at all.
No.
Still not convinced on them. But they won again. Like they did against who the fuck did they play before? They played someone before. Who the hell did they? Romania.
Yeah.
Who they played? They weren't even convincing in that. They were slightly. They played a lot better performance in the second half, but the first half they weren't. And Lewis Hamilton's nearly on his final lap. I keep looking over, and he's nearly won it. Anyway, yeah. Netherlands are a team that I feel like if they had a good team up against them, like a real good team that could exploit their midfield, then they will have no hope. Their defense is really holding them into place. Virgil van Dijk made a couple good blocks, but they were just throwing themselves at the ball against Turkey. And I'm so... It's weird for me because the weirdest thing is so many teams are not performing to their best, but they're winning.
Yeah.
And it's got to a point now where you can't call things because you don't know which side the team's going to turn up. So with the Netherlands, I'm hoping for the Netherlands that turned up in the group stage because they were horrific, but somehow still made their way through. And then you've got them beating the Romania 3-0. And to be fair, last night, that Arda Güler from Turkey, who's from Real Madrid, who's now at Real Madrid, and by God, that 19-year-old is a wonder kid. His cross for their goal, not only that, he's the way that he controls it, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu, legend of Turkish football, is set-piece king, has now started to hand the set pieces over to him, which is shocking because he's very greedy, that Hakan. With set pieces. So lucky to get through.
And here's the thing, the Netherlands has names, like strong names, and they have up and coming names. A lot of people are being looked at for good dollar values right now that they have on this squad. And you would think for the type of press and the type of attention that these individual players are getting, that there would be a lot more spark. But it's the same old, that if you don't have the right manager with the right style of play that the players understand and can click with, you are often left with a team full of potential that isn't performing. And that's how I feel about the Netherlands. It's enough to get by. Mind you, that's how I feel about everybody but Spain right now, sadly. Everybody but Spain, I feel, is in that we're getting through, but something's not quite clicking situation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with it. And I did celebrate because Lewis Hamilton has just won the British Grand Prix. And now he's made history as the only driver ever in Formula One history to win at a same track 9 times. Anyway,
awesome. No, that's a feat. No, hey, this shows just because we have a Euro football theme going on, this show's all about sharing whatever people want to share. Kind of thing.
Legend.
Point of view was created in the first place so that everybody could share their point of views on the things that they love, that excite them, and everything. And that's why I always invite whoever guests are or anybody in the chat. What's on your mind? Let's chat. That's what this is your show. This is your show to direct. I'm just here to help push some buttons along the way.
Go to Formula One has just won. Love it. It's one of those things that with the Euros, you just don't know what's going to happen. I think Netherlands will have the upper hand going into the semi-final. I think they could be favourites. Look at the resiliency we've got. The resiliency of the English.
Astrid, morning. How are you doing?
See, Hawaiian. Do you know what? All right, I've just thought of this. This is a lie, by the way. So I'm just going to make Astrid happy with this. Reason why I'm wearing this is because I'm feeling a bit hot, just like Heatwave later on today on NXT. Anyway,
what a plug! What a plug! That was great.
See, hold on. I'm going to do another plug. Ready?
Don't forget to watch Ed and Astrid tonight on NXT. Following it on here, the post show.
Ticker down below.
Astrid, what guest have you got? Because I haven't seen. If you can just say what guest you've got, so I can show it, and then we can do it that way.
Oh, look, you got like the drum roll, and a great job. Whoa, positives towards you, my friend.
I know.
Wow.
She normally winds me up, so it's quite nice. I'm waiting for her
Yeah,
to
I
cut
was
me
gonna
off at
say
some
I
point.
don't even have to kick you off the stream at
No.
all on this one. But yes,
Hold on, we've got
yes,
someone.
yeah, it's Joey Carney that's joining them here tonight.
Perfect. Look forward to it. I will be there in the chat, chatting away while watching after I've watched NXT to be with you.
You
But
bet.
by the way,
And-
can we
and-
just say what a weekend it is for British sports?
Oh yeah,
Just
huge.
what a Lewis Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix and Silverstone, England winning. We'll get into that in a sec. And
Yep.
not only that, Wimbledon's on up and going, and absolute great fun for all of those people there. And it's nice that the English, actually, it's not British,
English.
are doing really, really well. Scots let us down.
The Scots let us down. There you go. But yeah, no, it's been a great weekend in general for a lot of things, especially here on the channel. Many great guests, many wonderful shows. As you saw at the top of the hour, we played the weekly calendar. We'll probably play it again before we peace out here tonight as well too. But on Wednesday, Marvel Talk is coming back. They're talking about the Age of Ultron. They're going to be joined by their special guest, Boris from SMNE Radio. So make sure that you're tuning in Wednesday night with Ed and Andre for that. And that shirt calls for a vacation to Puerto Rico.
With Astrid's favorite wrestler, Logan Paul.
Oh, now you're gonna force my hand.
Hold on.
When you say things like this, it just,
I
I had to. You left me no choice.
don't blame you, to be fair. It was well worth it. It had to be done. It just had to be done.
All right, now let's talk about something Mark can't get in trouble for. England played a game yesterday. You're welcome. So England was in their quarterfinal match yesterday, and one of the reasons that Mark and I were on high levels of energy throughout the entire day with how excited we were, because we got to watch an absolute nail biter, a cliffhanger, whatever you want to call it. It gave us heart attacks 700 times over. It was England versus Switzerland. We were getting towards the end of the game, and the dirty Switzerland team scores a goal, and I'm just crying into my hands going, it can't happen like this. It can't happen like this. And then 5 minutes later, in typical English fashion, they score a goal. We are now tied, and I'm thinking, come on, England, just bag another one, put this through in regulation time. But in also famous English style, they decided, no, that's not good enough. Let's let all our boys play extra minutes so they can get extra tired throughout this tournament. And oh my God, did they get extra tired, between Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane looking like they could barely stand anymore. I mean, Bellingham's a goddamn trooper for going the distance. Not saying Kane isn't. I mean, Kane, when he took that tumble in towards the English bench, and Gareth Southgate had to kind of catch him and prop him back up, you could just tell. I mean, this guy has run, and he's also a little bit more advanced in age than Bellingham at this point in time too, and playing at the high level that he is. I mean, it's catching up to poor Harry Kane and everything, but he gave it his damnedest right through. Bellingham gave it his damnedest straight through and didn't get subbed off. I think the best part about this English match, even though it went to penalties, was Gareth Southgate's choice of substitutes when he put those substitutes on, because he knew damn well, I'm certain we're going to penalties. And he brought on some confident ass penalty kickers, and that saved the day. I'm watching that thing, and as soon as Pickford saved that first one, I was dancing around, screaming at the top of my lungs, singing about how much I love Jordan Pickford, even though a lot of the times I'm saying quite the opposite. But I was ecstatic. And then every time I'm just biting my nails, like every time an English player was stepping up to take a shot, I'm like, please. And then, of course, they were my new favorite person in the world. Loved them, running around, dancing, singing, yelling, drinking beers, getting crazy, probably annoying every single person in my entire neighborhood right through till that final kick. And when that went in, all hell broke loose in the most positive way, because I was super fan at that point in time. Oh my God, what a moment, Mark. I want to know what your reactions were at that point in time. And apparently, before you do, love seeing Mark more often on here. He's been invading OLE lately. It's been fantastic. Loving it.
Taking over.
Pun intended.
Oh,
Pun intended. No, so weirdly I felt confident before the game. Weirdly, going into it, I felt confident. When we conceded, felt confident. And everything about it, I just felt we're going to do this. The only issue I have is we're not playing great, but we're winning. And one of the things we need to start doing is getting a little bit better in our open play of what we're doing. We need to spread the play a bit more. We need to control the games a bit more. But the one thing we did do in this game was very, very much better than what we did before, was pressure high up. It was very much pressuring really. Yes, it is. We've had a couple of instances about a few minutes ago where it sort of froze on me and I went, oh no. But where we were pressuring really high up on them when they were taking their goal kicks. But then there were times where we were really sitting back and I was like, come on, let's get this forward a bit more. Let's get this pushing. Let's get this going. And it was amazing to see a lot of different performance, a lot of different way of doing things.
can I just cut in for 1 second? How much did it start to worry you when the Swiss brought on Shaqiri? Because
massive.
As soon as he walked on, I'm like, at the time he walked on and everything, I'm like, he brings a level of experience and confidence.
It's not that, it's set pieces.
It changed everything. Oh,
it's his set pieces and his passing. His cross. He doesn't need to run that much anymore. It's those crosses and his passing. That goal he nearly scored from the corner. I went, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? But no, yeah, you're right with that one. But when it got to penalties, I said, because I was sitting in my living room, and I said, we're winning this. And I knew before we took the penalty, if you could, we could list through the penalty. Cole Palmer hasn't missed a penalty this season for Chelsea. Jude Bellingham, I don't think has actually missed a penalty. Then you've got who then took the third one? Saka, scoring penalties, and great redemption for him after Euros final. Yeah. You've then got Ivan Toney, who, by the way, go and look on the clip online. The man doesn't look at the ball when he takes the penalty. Never looked at the ball once when he's walking up to take the penalty. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold, who takes, I think he's taken a couple, may not have taken penalties, but he's set piece, and you know he's going to take penalties because he's got that way of playing that I just feel like, he can take a penalty.
Well, just think about the young age of some of these guys too. Like we've seen guys who've got experience and stuff like that go up there, and they've been perfect at penalty taking other times. But something, when all of a sudden they put on an English shirt and go up for a penalty kick, there was some blunders that have been made over the years and stuff like that. So it does,
but you not
kind of give me that fear. But I was just going to say, like, this youth team, the young Lions as they are very, very interesting to watch in the confidence that they've built at such a young age.
But not only that, do you not feel it's completely changed from with Southgate taking over? Like, we beat Colombia in that World Cup. We won in the Nations League, I think, against Netherlands on penalties to get to the final, which we then lost. But then we had that Italy game, but then at the same time, should have probably done better in that. But Harry Maguire, beautiful man, scored that wonderful penalty. I have to work, but I have told I have an office, and I will not be leaving that while that is going on. I've already pre-warned them that I will do my jobs before, but I will be watching the game.
And I'll kind of have it on as I'm working as well too. That's the best way to put that. But
yeah,
it's good that the other two sales reps are actually out of the office this week, so they don't have to listen to me yelling when things go right or wrong on Wednesday.
Yeah. So I will be watching it probably at my job when I do that. But no, I just felt so confident. There was nothing in me that felt like we weren't going to win it, and that's the first time ever I've ever actually watched a full penalty shootout. Normally, I walk out when the opposition's taking the penalties because I can't watch it. But this was one of the only times I've actually sat and watched the whole thing, and I was like, we're going to win this. And I don't know where that confidence has come from it. And going into this game we've got coming up next, and we'll probably do our predictions for it in the set. I'm confident. I'm weirdly confident for it, but I shouldn't be because we should be underdogs. But I'm just confident for some reason.
Well, I mean, again, England haven't suffered any losses this tournament at all.
No,
I mean, so we have that going for us. I mean, again, it comes down to, like we said, there's 3 teams in this semifinal now. England is included in this that haven't been performing to the standards that you'd expect them to. They've been edging by. There is no edging by anymore. That's the difference at this point in time. You're in the semifinals. There's nowhere left to hide. One team is going to outbeat the other team. Maybe it'll go extra time. Maybe it'll go penalties. We're not sure. But it's going to take something special at this point in time to get you through to the final. And teams need to show up. That's the good thing. You need Mbappe to show up for France. Yeah. Spain are playing great. We know that's the team we're a little bit less on that side for. Netherlands needs anybody to show up that isn't their defense.
Well, Cody Gakpo has got 4 goals, 4 goals, 1 assist so far, I think, so far in this tournament. He's the only one showing up, and Memphis Depay is not doing anything. You've also got Xavi Simons, who I think is a world quality wonder kid, hit and missing games that he's been going. Their wing backs in Dumfries is not it. They need to be starting Jeremy Frimpong, just not in the next game.
100%.
Or just not in the next game at all, because I do not want to. We will have to put Kyle Walker a lot left back just to try and handle Frimpong's pace.
Yeah. Yes, don't listen. Yeah, leave Frimpong off this time. That's all good.
Yeah, just leave him off this time. We don't need to see him.
I like him. I don't want to have to call him bad names.
No. But their defense is strong, but beatable. Like, if you take Van Dijk out of the situation, De Vrij isn't really doing it, I don't think, for Netherlands. They need to be Van der Ven, but they're not playing him, the Tottenham defender.
But Van Dijk's like 4 defenders in 1. That guy's unbelievable.
But then if you get the right delivery, and I think if you watched how Turkey did it with their goals, and if you watch the goals that they do, Van Dijk is not as strong and is not as quick and is not as good in this tournament than he has been for Liverpool. So he is beatable. And I look at that and I look at Jude Bellingham's confidence going, and I look at him and I'll go, Jude will go, I'll have him one-on-one. Don't have to have pace, but if we're going in the air or we're going to tussle, I'm going to go for him. And I think that's what we need. Someone just to and this is the sort of way that I look at it. Smack them in the mouth and then just make them wheel back a bit. Do you know what I mean? One of those, let them know you're there early.
Bellingham's a big boy that can handle that too at the same time. Andre asking who's going to win in Spain versus France. As we both said earlier, we go in Spain. We 100% think it's going to be Spain. They have the confidence right now. They're playing well. France has only been inching by. Unless Mbappe shows up for France finally in this tournament like he did in the World Cup, they will be heading to the golf course very, very shortly. But yes, so let's do our predictions right now when it comes to England versus the Netherlands. I know I went 2-0 Spain over France. You went 2-1 Spain over France. England and Netherlands, I think we're probably in the same mind frame of who we want and think are going to win this matchup. But what's the scoreline going to be, Mark?
No, you're going first this time.
I'm going first this time? Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I've gone first. I need to think. I can't. I'm stuck between about 3 scores, and I don't know which one to go for.
So I want to keep believing that they're going to start really showing up. I said that about the last game. I went 3-1 last time, and I wasn't even close. So I do think, again, this is going to be tight. Again, you're talking about a defense that's working versus a midfield that isn't on the other side. But like you said, people like Bellingham are going to have a go at some of the better parts of them. And yeah, I don't know. I'll go 2-1 England. I'm going to go 2-1 England. And I'll say 1-0 England starts, gets brought back 1-1. England finishes it in... I'm going to go regulation time. I'm just going to gamble on regulation time on this one. No extras. As we say, good morning to Ahmad, who's saying everyone wanted Jey Uso to win, but Drew won because of Chad Gable. And you know what, Ahmad, we did a lot of coverage on that entire thing on our post show last night. If you want to check that out, it's available on YouTube as well now too. And yeah, it's a lot of fun we had there for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, your prediction, Mark.
Interesting.
What do you got here?
Fuck. England going to concede.
Yes.
I think that's probably going to happen because we've conceded. We've gone behind twice now, and we've come back to come in and win it. So I'm going to go with 2-2 penalty win.
2-2 penalty win. Okay, very interesting. So those predictions are locked. We'll find out on Wednesday if either one of us are correct. And see if I know each of us have both predicted at least one game correct this season. So we'll see, or this tournament. So we'll see if that changes coming up as
What
of
was the
this
scoreline we
Wednesday.
predicted for the first one?
The very first game, the opening match of the group stages, you predicted boring.
No. I mean Spain versus France. What was the both predictions we went for?
Oh, you went with 2-1 Spain. Yes, you went 2-1 Spain.
And who did you go for?
I went 2-0 Spain.
All right. Okay. Let's see if one of us wins that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where that one. That one I'm more interested in than the other because I can't work out the other one.
No. So Spain and France. That's on this Tuesday. That one plays out. Netherlands and England plays out on Wednesday, and then Sunday, July 14th, is when we reach our final conclusion. That's 1 week from today. So again, despite who's in that final, and I swear to God, England better be there, Mark, so that we can at least have a celebratory little discussion here prior to the game's kickoff. So just thinking so it kicks off at 1 p.m. my time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we should be good. We could do the show as is regular time, and then prepare ourselves to watch the England match. And I say the England match because they're going through. We're gonna get it. We're taking it. It's finally England's time, man. It's finally England's time, and it better be, or else there's gonna be a lot of crying on stream next Sunday.
Yes, or anger. But it won't be that much anger because we would have had about 4 days since the end of that game to try and process everything, and the anger would have gone down a bit, probably not a lot. But what I will say, I'll talk about England. I think Gareth Southgate might have saved his job now, and I think that it is up to him now whether he stays on or not after this game. It will be up to him.
The only other thing I think about with that is like you replace Southgate with who?
Pochettino. I think the number one target for England might be Pochettino. I really hope it's not, but it's going to be for me. And I said this in the round of 16 game when just before Jude Bellingham scored that ridiculous overhead kick. I said if I was England and we lost that game, I would turn up at Jurgen Klopp's house, give him everything he wanted, all the money he needed. Make him the most expensive manager in history and leave him to do it. That's who I would have gone for. It'd be Jurgen Klopp because he won't want to be doing. He wants time off, and you can have time off with international management. You only do bits and pieces here and there, and then you just do the next stuff up after this is the World Cup. So, who knows? That's who I would have gone for. But who knows at this point? We just win the tournament, and I want to see us win a tournament in my lifetime.
It would be fantastic. And I mean, is Gareth Southgate the best guy for the job? Maybe not, but there isn't a lot of choices out there at the same time either. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh well, do we keep hanging on to this guy when we could have A, B, C, D, E, F, G options? No, it's kind of like, do we keep this guy or do we get another guy who may or may not be able to get this team to click a little bit better, but you're taking that risk. At least with Southgate, he's been there for a while. Everyone's kind of gotten used to him being there, doing his thing. So I think, in that sense, keep him on for now. Let him do his thing, especially you're in the semis. He's probably going to make it through to the finals unless something crazy happens. Mm-hmm. We might even win the damn tournament, and we better win the damn tournament. And if they win the damn tournament, I'm sorry, you have no choice that Gareth Southgate stays at his job.
Do you know what? I don't think he would.
No?
No. Do you know what I would? Because I've been in the job for 10 years. It'd be one of those that I've won it. I don't think I'm going to get better than that.
Go out on high.
I'm out. And do you know what I'll do? I will go to America. I would go and get a job in America, and I would stay there. Or go to Saudi and get a job. Well, no, Gareth wouldn't get a job in Saudi. I would. But I would go out there and get a job out there and do that type of thing.
Work with Bex.
But just go somewhere away from England. You've won in England. You've won well in England. And go away, and then keep your legacy the way it is in England. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, he could go get a job working with Bex in Miami.
Exactly. I would not be surprised if that actually happened.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody, if they had an opportunity, would love to take a job working with David Beckham over in Miami. I mean, Jesus, I'd take a job working with David Beckham.
I would. I would be there. I pay me good money, and I'll be the cleaner. That's all you need me to do, and I'll happily do it.
I don't, and you know what? I don't care whatever criticism that ever been said about David Beckham on field and stuff like that. What an incredible human being! I really like everything about David Beckham as a person. So, Andre saying, I think Mark needs to move to Saskatchewan. Where's the context on this one, Andre? Please explain. I mean, I'd be cool with it. I mean, because then Mark would live here. But yeah, I'm kind of curious about the context there, my friend. Let us know.
What have you got coming up this week, Bobby? What sort of stuff have you got? That the beautiful people at home can look for, apart from tomorrow where we get to see Ed. Ugh. But we get to see Astrid, so it's even better.
That's tonight. That's tonight for them.
Yeah, I know. But then the problem is Ed's there. That's the issue.
But the problem is
that's the problem. Ed's there, and so yeah.
Okay. Well, he said because Bobby's there for Saskatchewan. Okay, I got you.
I am looking at some point soon to have a trip to Canada to come and have a look at, do all of that type of thing.
I'll just know that in the west side, that's where you got Andre, Mel, and myself all in that kind of area.
There we go then. So looks like I'm having a trip to the west side of Canada at some point.
There you go. Visit BC, then we'll meet Central somewhere. But yeah, no, it'll all work out. But what I got going? There's my ticker down below. Of course, as for shows I got going, I've got to get around to it, but I've got a few different movie reviews. I've got some more reactions coming out, of course, things like that coming at you throughout the week. Of course, on Thursday nights with Papa Smokes, Ring Respect Radio, catch me there. Saturdays with Papa Smokes on Prairie Pro Wrestling's channel. You can catch us doing the commentaries. We release a new match every single Saturday. And as he's going to tell you more in depth about it, I also work with Mark over at Mark Talks Wrestling for our WWE 2K24 Universe mode. Mark's going to tell you all about what's coming up there. And then, of course, next Sunday, we're going to be back here continuing our summary of Euro 2024.
Hold on. What's Andre up to?
Andre, yes, and we did plug it earlier, but I will plug it again. You can see me and OLED with our special guest, Boris Aguilar from SNME Radio, as we look back at the Avengers Age of Ultron on Marvel Talk MCU Rebound. That's Wednesday night. Make sure you're checking that out. And also, you can catch Andre with Andre and Melball Friday nights on the Japanese Wrestling Update, and also with their various programs talking all things Japanese wrestling and, of course, wrestling out of Alberta, Canada as well, too, over at Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. Check out their channel over on YouTube and make sure to subscribe as well. But with that said, that's where you can find me, and I am just stalling for time so I can actually find in the long list of pickers where Mark's is. Mark, where can people find you and tell them all about what you got going on?
I'm only going to talk about one. You can see Mark Talks Football Manager. Go and check that out. We're in Japan at the moment, trying to gain a career and keep pushing forward, winning trophies and go there. Mark Talks Gaming, we're nearing the end of EAFC 24 with the Reading save, where we will be then going into GTA 5 story mode. Has it been 10 years since the game come out? 10 years, I think, this year that the GTA 5 come out. So I thought, as we're coming up to GTA 6 next year, I thought, why not do we revisit the whole of the GTA 5 story and have a bit of fun with it? And that's what we're going to do on the channel. And we might do some online races if there's people in OLE that want to join in. We can do cross-platform OLE races. We might do stuff like that. Who knows? But the big one that is coming up, and it starts tonight, which is 8 p.m. UK time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. You can work out the rest from the other ones. I can't do all the other maths with that. It is the Art of War games. Now, I'm going to pre-tell you what this is about. So, Bobby, Crybaby Bobby over here, wants to team up with AEW's Lauren Goodnight. And what they're trying to do is dethrone the legacy of WWE. So, I have put out a challenge that at War Games, it will be Bobby and Lauren versus myself, and the winner gets control of their brands for one episode for it. So what that will mean is if I win, I will get 1 day control of MLW, 1 day control of AEW. If they win, they will get control, one each, of both of my shows coming up. And it all starts tonight with a handicap match. Now, in this handicap match, if I win with my superstar, I will gain the advantage in the War Games cage. If Bobby and Lauren win, they will gain the advantage. So in tonight's episode, it will be The Rock and Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Now, I'm playing this out of character now, and I'm going to play this into I know what happened. You have to watch this. The whole week is full of bangers. Not only that, so many surprises happen, and it goes down to the wire. Thank you, Andre. You beautiful man,
Andre.
But no, but Bobby knows this. It goes down to the wire. It goes. Stuff has happened. So please make sure you go and check that out. It all starts tonight, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you watch that, and then then go watch NXT. Then come back here to watch Astrid in the post show.
Bet against John Cena. That's just the opening, though. It's even if he gets this one, he gets little advantages and all this, so it's okay. But it's just how it's going to go down. It's going to be WWE thinking that they're the best, and then they're going to find out just what MLW and AEW are made of when we join forces, and we're going to send those pesky Wyatts packing back to whatever spook show they came from. And Mark's going to just love it when I start booking 5-star classics on his show for the first time ever.
The best thing is the best thing about this conversation we're having right now is we both know the ending. And we both know the ending of what's going to happen, right? And we're both trying not to spoil it whatsoever. It is the best thing. But it is, and I want to say this now. Please clip this and send this around to Lauren and whoever. And to everyone as well. My channel has grown so much since the start of this series of what we're doing. But not only that, the amount of fun I'm having playing these matches or watching the matches and commenting, I've never had as much fun in any of the channels I'm doing so far. So this means a lot. But what I will say this is we are 5 premium live event. Hold on. Before the ending, I've got to find it because I posted it in the.
We've got
Discord.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's 5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. So after War Games, we've got ECW, Royal Rumble, Double or Nothing, Elimination Chamber, then WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this now. After WrestleMania, we're changing shit up. There will be new brands, new championships, new opportunities. So please, if you haven't already, go over to subscribe to OLE, subscribe and follow them on Twitch and on Twitter because you will get notification on Twitch on X when my video, because Bobby's great at retweeting. But make sure you go over to my YouTube and subscribe to that because I tell you what, we can't stress this enough, can we? Of how big this week is, can we not?
It's a blast.
Just mental. And you want to see? We pre-recorded videos. Us 3 together in a room. That was mental enough as it was. But also, I had to edit a lot of it out because the conversations we were having weren't allowed for YouTube. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys go over and look at it and do it. But, yeah, that's for me. We're gonna have a great time.
It's always a blast because, I mean, again, like to pull back the curtain for 1 second before we wrap the show is that, we come up with these videos explaining who we want in the matches that we're booking, myself, Lauren, and you go and play who we want you to control. But then we throw little wrenches in it throughout time. And that's what we did with War Games. And it was, it's not out of the impossibility here, Andre. definitely not. So we throw a little wrenches like this war game stipulation into it and controlling the others and being able to screw up somebody else's booking plans and stuff like that. And I mean, that's what makes this magical and fun. And also, if you don't mind me saying it about what the plan is with the Royal Rumble coming up, is for the first time ever, the three of us are going to do the commentary on the Royal Rumble matches themselves. So you're going to be able to have the opportunity to listen to myself, Lauren, and Mark going absolute batshit crazy watching Royal Rumbles happen with our rosters.
The thing is with the Royal Rumble, I have to record it and get all the edited and all of that. Well, I don't have to edit it, but I need to record it. And so what I'm going to do, and I've already said this is how it's going to go, is I'm going to press, as the match starts, record. I'm then leaving the room. I will not see anything that happened. I will find out who the winner is, but I will not know anything that will happen in between from it. But that's going to be crazy. We've also got ECW One Night Stand, where there is loads of. All right, I'm going to do a poll here because you've actually thrown a stench in my. You've actually thrown something in there that now is making me think. All right, so can we do a poll here or not?
I don't know. I'm
Even
sure
know.
there's a way.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just.
All right. So in the chat, what would you prefer to see? And this is it. Would you prefer to see MLW or TNA? And the other one is, would you prefer to see AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Cool.
WWE.
I'm curious what the chat says. I mean, I would be just as happy to take control of TNA wrestling if that was
the case. We're also doing that thing as well that you come up with the women. We're still doing that thing as well. New Japan. So Andre saying New Japan.
Of course, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. New Japan.
Did we for a second think Andre wouldn't pick New Japan? Come on.
Okay, so that's fine. So now the other one is: do we still have MLW or do we turn it into TNA?
I mean, I'm cool either way, but I would be more than happy to change that to be in TNA.
Okay, so you'll be more than happy to change it to TNA.
Sure. I've kind of been slowly divorcing MLW for real here, so I mean.
Okay, I think Andre's the one that's just picked our shows for us.
There you go. TNA and JPW. I don't know if Lauren's going to be as on board, but we'll find out shortly.
Yeah, you'll find out when the new series starts. If it's still called AEW, you will know why, because of Lauren. If it's New Japan, you know it's because of Andre.
Our good friend Bobby Stats, Bobby Petito, joining us in the house as we're wrapping up the show. But thank you for joining in. But yeah, no, it's going to be a riot as we get towards the end of that season and get prepared for the next one and all the changes, all the interesting things, maybe a new draft. I mean, that draft we did was fun. And
we're doing a draft.
Oh, God. It's only going to be that much better. Now that we're used to what the plan is for the entire series, it's going to be so much more fun. Your guys' wrestling battles have been fire. Thanks, Andre. Yeah, no, it's been absolutely delightful to do what we've been doing and to be able to slag each other off and stuff like that as we cut kayfabe promos on one another and work this all out. It's quite funny. I'm
going to break back the curtain, right? There was one time where we all went back and forth on X for a little while, and then Bobby just puts in the Discord going, "Oh, this is great, isn't it? Everyone carry on, just keep doing it." I'm like, "All right, okay, let's go and do it." I was like, it's quite funny when you look at others for it, but
yeah. Bobby, next season I could be in charge of TNA for the show moving forward, so we'll see about that for sure.
So if you want NXT, I know that WWE next season of WWE 2K24 might be taking their whole company to Europe.
There you
go. Reading. England. Just so I can put the Reading badge in there somewhere.
just promote your football club.
I've got to do something with it. Somehow. Yeah, no. So
I'm putting a United poster up in my office.
Go for it. United's TNA. Ooh. Anyway, that's a tag team you can make there.
There we go.
But no, right. Let's end that. Let's stop talking because I know I'll get myself in trouble with the amount of stuff I'm going to say more or what I'm thinking. I can feel my brain moving now.
It's all good. But no, thank you everybody for tuning in here on Point of View. It's been an absolute delight. Looking forward to tonight where you could join Ed Astrid for the Heat Wave post show. So stay tuned for that and stay tuned for everything we got OLE for you this coming week. Mark, thank you as always for being here with me on Point of View.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
See you again next Sunday for more of this show. Take care, everybody.